So for week 7 UDL, the question is, after reflecting on the lessons you have observed, describe how the California content standards are addressed in your site placement and what standards are being addressed and how. So at my site placement, I'm at Del Mar Elementary in a 6th grade classroom that focuses only on mathematics. And the grade 6 California content standards focus on 4 critical points, which is connecting ratio and rates to whole numbers with multiplication and using concepts of ratio and rate to solve problems. 2 is completing the understanding of division of fractions to the system of rational numbers, which includes negative numbers as well as positive. 3 is writing and interpreting using expressions and equations. And 4 is developing understanding of statistical thinking. And as I read through each standard, I noticed that in my classroom, my host teacher, Miss Jane, spends about 2 to 3 weeks on each specific area and then moves on to the next area, but it just varies depending on how well the students are grasping the concept. But when I came into her class, they were working on division of fractions, using models first and then after solving algebraically. Throughout this lesson, Miss Jane constantly had students explaining their reasoning for how they got their answer, as she was helping them practice their understanding by verbally expressing their work, which is what Common Core is. They want you to explain and they want you to understand what's going on within the problem, not just write out the same problem a million times and maybe you're just copying someone. And a big thing with 6th grade is teaching students about the importance of explaining their work so that they better understand what they're doing in the long run, especially with math. Also, as students write their expressions, it helps them to interpret their material in their own words. So they learn how to understand in their own way, which they can potentially help other students that are struggling if they're not understanding the teacher. Now the students are learning how to graph coordinates on a coordinate plane, which involves a model and includes negative and positive integers as well as fractions and decimals on the number line. Ms. Jane gives students many opportunities to work alongside other students and ask questions on their own as she tests their personal understanding of the content. And I believe that Ms. Jane's main focus is using models and representations as well as using sentence starters in order for students to catch on and develop these habits in math. Basically, the model portion of the math, she does models, then she does algebraically, and then at the same time she has them use like sentence starters to say, I agree with this, or for example, if they're doing a problem, be like, if I have 1/2 of 1/3, what is my number? Just little things like that. Also, when students work together, she always has them explain to their peer how they got the answer, which is just helping them develop the correct verbiage and language in order to explain and understand what they're doing by themselves.